This is the best batch of Power Plant that has been put out ever before. I'm enjoying it so much. I can't remember having a triple IPA and enjoying it this much. Wow, really good. What's up, everyone, and welcome to 10-Minute Tasting, where I take 10 minutes out of my day to taste a beer that I'm very, very excited about. And on this week's edition, a beer that I really don't even have to introduce. This is a legendary LA IPA. It's not a single IPA, not a double IPA. This is a triple IPA, Power Plant Triple IPA from El Segundo Brewing Company. It is triple IPA season here on the West Coast, typically highlighted by the Bistro Double IPA Festival and San Francisco Beer Week up in Northern California. And as part of those festivities, a lot of these breweries are brewing and putting out triple IPAs. So Pliny the Younger is kind of the big favorite that everybody clamors over. But several years back, El Segundo started putting out this bad boy. And I don't know, it depends on who you ask, but there's a lot of people that feel very strongly that this beer is the best West Coast style triple IPA, better than Younger, better than anything else that is really out there. And so they've won some awards for this beer, got some great recognition, and they've continued to kind of raise the bar when it comes to really drinkable, really dry, and super hop forward West Coast style triple IPA. This release is part of El Segundo's The Meltdown series, or Meltdown event, which is a 4-day event this year, starting yesterday, going through Sunday, where you can pick up cans and drink Power Plant on tap, but also drink Nuclear Power Plant, which is the quadruple version of this beer. It's ridiculous. The beer, the cans sold out super quick, so the only place you can get it at this point is at the brewery, if it's even still pouring. And then they also do a hazy IPA that's called Radioactive Fallout. So really just a celebration for hoppy beer lovers over at El Segundo, where hoppy beer is being made. So it's really exciting, and I'm really excited to taste this year's version, the 2022 El Segundo Brewing Company Power Plant Triple IPA. So, Power Plant Triple IPA, let's just take a look at the can here. Very classic style here. I mean, this emulates the smokestacks on the refinery plants down in El Segundo, so it's very hyper local to the brewery. There's some meaning behind this design, and that's pretty cool. 11.1%, and it is hopped with Simcoe, Amarillo, Citra, and Mosaic. So this is it's a little cold. Just took them out of the fridge, but I'm anxious to see what's inside. So let's crack it open. All right, I love that right after you pour it, you just get that like tornado swirl of carbonation coming up to a frothy head on top. This is crystal clear. I don't know if you're talking about clear beer at all. This is what clear beer looks like. So really great job on the fining and filtering that happens in the production of this beer. Just really, from an aesthetic standpoint, it's exactly what you want to see. And then that level of gold is really, really nice looking. I think with triple IPA, and over the years this has changed a lot, but historically triple IPAs looked a lot darker. You had to use more darker malts to get a lot of the sugar content needed to reach that triple IPA ABV. Younger Power Plant, some of these beers really started changing the narrative when it comes to that, and so you're getting this really nice, really bright mid-tone gold. And so nowadays you're starting to see paler triple IPAs, paler than this, that are out there with primarily Pilsner malt and a lot of dextrose to achieve that like 10% plus ABV. And in those cases, you know, they can be a little bit hit or miss just because you need a little bit of malt body to balance up against sweetness, alcohol, and hop flavor and aromas. So what you're looking for on a bigger triple IPA style beer, in my opinion, is a appearance and a color that looks very similar to what we're looking like here with Power Plant. Really nice looking stuff. And the nose is fantastic. Wow. Just incredibly clean, bright, fresh, citrus, a little bit of floral, a little bit of blueberry I'm getting on this as well, kind of like a little berry sweetness, which is pretty nice. But yeah, orange is really prevalent here. The entire fruit, a little bit of peel, a little bit of flesh. It smells incredibly fresh. It's exactly what you want to be smelling in any IPA, but especially in a beer like this where balance can be so much more difficult to achieve. And you guys have probably seen this before, where you stick your nose into a triple IPA and you're getting alcohol aromas coming out of that. You're getting kind of overly sweet aromas coming out of that, and that's not happening in this beer, which is really, really nice, and it's making me excited to try it. So let's give it a whirl. Okay, well, at 11.1%, the alcohol is most definitely present. It's not one of those beers where you're like, oh wow, this drinks like it's 7%. No, I mean, it is my first beer of the day. It is 12 p.m. But I can taste the alcohol really up front in this beer. Not in any kind of off-putting way, but in a way that's like, this is who I am and this is what I came for. Actually finishes incredibly dry for a beer of this size. Typically when you're drinking a beer that has this kind of like big alcohol component to it, that it's backed up against a lot of sweetness on the back end, and that's not happening here. It finishes out really nice and dry. Really light on the mouthfeel too, like as it sits in your mouth. I think some of these beers, usually when they're sweeter, tend to have a little bit of a syrupy edge to it, and sometimes they tend to kind of like really saturate your mouth and your palate. And this beer isn't doing that. I mean, it's hitting you hard, and I'm getting a ton of bitterness and flavor out of it, but it's not overly weighty, if that makes any sense. And from a flavor perspective, there's a lot of citrus going on here. Like I mentioned on the aroma, a ton of orange, but also bright lemon as well. Slightly dank edge to it too. Not getting the berry on it. Getting a really nice pine resin, which is cool. I mean, West Coast IPA, I guess in these new school West Coast IPA days, sometimes that piney, resinous, bitter edge can get kind of lost with all the tropical fruit that's going on. And that's not happening in this beer, nor would I expect it to. El Segundo stuck to a very classic combination of hops and is delivering a very classic West Coast IPA flavor profile out of this. So yeah, grapefruit pith as well, as I'm kind of letting it saturate. And this is one of those beers where you take a sip of it and you taste it, obviously, and you experience it. But as I'm sitting here and I haven't taken a sip in about 30 to 45 seconds, I'm still getting flavor coming out, like it like saturated into my tongue, and now like, excuse me, and now it's like salivating out, and I'm still continuing to get like almost like grapefruit oil kind of flavors going on. So it's really nice. It's really interesting. This is an experience. You know, I hate trying to recall previous year's batches of a similar beer or the same beer. And so it's hard for me to go into this and be like, what was last year like? And if I wanted to remind myself, I'm pretty sure there's a video of me tasting it. But yeah, I kind of feel like this is the best Power Plant has ever tasted. And I know it's probably not true, but maybe it is. I'm really enjoying it right now. I wasn't sure if I was going to finish the entire can, and in case you missed that, yeah, it's all in there. And I think the entire beer is gonna go down on this session here. So 10-minute tasting, 10-minute buzz session at this point in time. God damn, it gets better as you drink it. That's the weirdest thing, is it gets better as you drink it. Fantastic beer. I really hope you guys get your hands on this beer. So this beer was part of, they used to call it Day One Dankness, I think is what they used to call it. They no longer kind of rally around that label, but I did see it hitting distro midday yesterday at some of the better bottle shops in Southern California. So it's definitely going to be around. You're going to want to drink it fresh. So head out to your local spot, see if they got it. But honestly, this is your chance to hit up El Segundo if you haven't been in a while, because the meltdown, you gotta try Radioactive Fallout Hazy, and you have to try that nuclear power plant, that quadruple IPA, which from my recollection is a little bit over my head. It's a little bit more than I can personally handle, but it's fun, and drinking it side by side with this one's probably a really fun experience this year as well. This is the best batch of Power Plant that has been put out ever before. I'm enjoying it so much. Wow. I can't remember having a triple IPA and enjoying it this much. Wow, really good. Get your hands on Power Plant Triple IPA. This is a wonderful beer. Really nothing else out there like it. And as I was saying at the top of this video, it is triple IPA season. Every January, February is a big triple IPA push from a lot of breweries here on the West Coast. Highlighted by that Pliny the Younger release. But there's a lot of really cool triples coming out these days. And El Segundo is honestly leading the pack on what is happening from a West Coast style triple IPA perspective. Your triple IPA experience is not complete without drinking this beer. So thanks a lot for tuning in to this week's 10-minute tasting. Get your hands on Power Plant because it's fucking delicious, but support local beer, drink good stuff, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace out.